Welcome everyone to the Conversations with Weruché Podcast, Season 2. I'm your host, Weruché George, and I'm here to share with you conversations, inspiration, interviews, and insights on a lot of different topics. I'm so glad to be back. I've missed these conversations a lot. Those months away were necessary as we navigated the pandemic and focused on our collective survival. But they were long months, and we're glad to be back. This season promises to be great as we usher in new ideas, guaranteed to keep our energy up. We've decided to pivot, our very new favorite word, by merging the podcast with Weruché Inspires, the organization. And hopefully this helps us bring you so many different topics and great conversations with people doing amazing work and simply living. Our arts and culture focus within the organization authenticates this move at this time. And so we'll start off by thanking our supporters and listeners who have prompted me with multiple, questions and have asked about the podcast over the months. Thank you so much. I remember speaking with a friend about the best way to make our space accommodating for everyone. And the advice I got was to show up every single week with no expectations, but with complete authenticity and openness. Which brings me to the importance of our podcast to begin with. You see, as immigrants, people living in diaspora, it is necessary that we create spaces where we can be ourselves and share stories and memories of our culture, as well as find meaning. A lot of who we are at the core gets lost in who we are now becoming. And this ultimately leads to a loss of self and values and culture. So these spaces we create consciously today will ultimately become what we leave to generations after us as a mark of who we are and what we're about. Last year, while I worked on an autoethnography, the concept of speaking from below kept re-emerging. The importance of elevating the voices of people who otherwise are silent. Whose role is it to serve as speaker and documentarian? And at what point do we realize the urgency of preserving those voices as well as ours? And this ties to the purpose of our podcast and the conversations we'll be having in the coming days. Who are we as a collective? What is the purpose of our now in relation to where we came from and who we were born to be? As women, how do we show up in a manner that gives authority to us unapologetically? How much of ourselves should we shroud or expose in our quest for what I now call world domination? And so these questions will be at the center of a lot of our conversations, and I look forward to engaging with the ladies who I have now come to respect and admire over the years. I'm excited to say recently we added more people to our board. These ladies have such diversity of interest and work that I know this time around we got it right. We will continue to seek out diverse voices that strengthen us and help educate, inspire, and empower, which is ultimately our goal. In our next episode, I'll be speaking with Dr. Cynthia Agumanu McColliver about the stories told to us. We intend to make it as raw and real and honest as possible. And so, yes, we will take you on a journey and we'll see where we go with it. But thanks for listening, and please get vaccinated. I've spoken with a few people who said that vaccination is not in their line of sight because they fear about what the COVID vaccine might contain and all of that. And I have this to say to them: please, please, please trust science over anything else. Those lies in the media and the fear mongering, we have to separate. We have to do away with. We have to put behind us. Thanks for listening, and please remember, you're here just this once. It is imperative that you give this journey your best shot. Thank you.